Tonight at 5 Live, team coverage from Grant County as flooding there reaches record levels. Plus, crews are cleaning up in western Wisconsin after more than a dozen train cars derail from the track. And WNBA star Brittany Griner speaking out for the first time after spending nearly 10 months in a Russian prison. You're watching News 3 Now at 5. Major flooding in the Mississippi River is impacting communities all across western Wisconsin. Tahlil Mahadeen is live in Grant County. And Tahlil, what are you seeing there right now?
Well, Eric, I'm here in Bagley on Friendship Lane, where we're seeing some of the highest water level damage flooding these streets. Where I'm standing right now, it's about 20 inches. But further down, closer to the river, though it's hard to tell where it begins and where the road ends, it's about 3 feet. Now, several people we spoke with say they've been out all day doing what they can to minimize damage, hoping to pump water out of their homes faster than it's coming in. Officials from Grant County Emergency Management say while most of the properties in Bagley's are vacation rentals, there are some permanent residents. One homeowner I spoke with says for days they've been moving furniture out, sandbagging, and putting appliances on lifts to prepare.
Well, I'm just thankful. It could be a lot worse. I've walked around and I've seen houses that it's like halfway up the side of the house. So, you know, those homes are probably basically ruined.
Emergency management officials say so far at least 3 homes have had floodwater breach their first floors. They've been assessing damage since yesterday, at times via canoe, and will continue to do so in the coming days. Now, officials are also expecting to see a few more inches impact these streets. And for more on why that is, our meteorologist Julian Seawright is in the field today.
That's right, Tahlil. What we're going to be expecting is the cresting to happen tomorrow. As of right now, we are still looking at that's 22, almost 23 feet of water that has been coming in from the floodwater. Now, cresting in itself, what we mean by that is that the peak levels of the floodwater is where it's going to reach before it starts to fall. Now, we are looking for it to begin to fall once we get into the weekend. The only issue is that for normal water levels, it's going to take about 2 to 3 weeks, or even more so if we see any more precipitation adding to the issues that we're seeing. Now, right behind me, you can see that the further you go, the deeper it gets. There's supposed to be a line of all kinds of trailers right behind me, but they can't even get it there. Instead, they had to park onto land where it hasn't been impacted by the floodwaters just yet. But we're going to be still reporting live here about what we can be expecting. But for right now, from the First One Weather Team, I'm Julian Seawright, reporting from Bagley. Back to you.
All right, Julian, Tahlil, thank you. And about an hour north of that flooding in Crawford County, crews are now working to clear the site of a train derailment of all things. Take a look. It happened just after noon in DeSoto near Wisconsin 35 at Highway 82 along the Mississippi River. Officials say approximately 20 BNSF cars derailed there. 2 of those ended up in the river but later ran ashore. Some of the cars were carrying hazardous materials believed to be batteries, but officials believe they were contained and that there's no danger to the public.
Now we have fire crews working on booning, which is basically setting up a barrier inside the water to make sure no other non-river material is going down, so it would collect any sort of oil, gas that may be leaking into the river.
At least 2 injuries were reported, but officials have not shared any more details. It's also unclear what exactly caused those cars to derail. Well, let's get a look at the first warn forecast now. Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti joining us out on the weather patio with the details. Gary, hopefully staying dry.
Yeah, at least for tomorrow we'll see dry weather, but then after that we got some more showers in the forecast. Right now it looks like they'll be generally pretty light. Let's start out by taking a look at visible cloud track. Most of the showers have been to the north along a stationary front in northern Wisconsin, so the southern part of the state where we are has seen plenty of sunshine. You can see on Doppler track there have been some light showers from just north of Green Bay over toward north of Eau Claire in the Twin Cities, but those are moving to the east and northeast, and we'll stay to our north for tonight and for much of the day tomorrow. It was kind of chilly last night. The skies cleared out. Here in Madison we dropped to 38 degrees, but Janesville was down to 32. Some areas in far southeastern Wisconsin were in the upper 20s, whereas areas closer to La Crosse stayed well into the 40s. La Crosse's low was at 47, and current temperatures are pretty mild. 66 right now in Madison, 70 degrees in Boscobel, 68 in Janesville, across Dane County, 67 right now in Deerfield, 67 in Belleville, and 68 degrees in Verona. Look for skies to be clear to partly cloudy this evening. Temperatures will be mild, dropping only into the lower 50s by late evening. Later on, it'll take take a look at how much rain we can expect from this weekend into early next week when it comes back to southern Wisconsin.
All right, Gary, thank you. Dane County authorities have officially charged a man now with a woman's death that happened earlier in the week. 37-year-old Jose Duenas-Quinones was first named as a person of interest for his alleged role in the death of 43-year-old Micaela Juarez Ocolt. Officers say Duenas-Quinones left the country more than 24 hours before Ocolt's body was found with their 6-year-old daughter. Police believe the two are somewhere in Mexico. A warrant has also been issued for his arrest. One of the biggest debates we're seeing in the Capitol right now is over how to send state aid to cities and counties in Wisconsin. It's the kind of aid that helps local governments fund emergency services or even keep the lights on, as we'll hear more from political reporter Will Keneally. Will?
Eric, we heard today from local officials just how crucial this funding is, and we also heard from Republicans how they want to achieve that funding through the checkout counter.
It's transferring 20% or 1 cent of the sales tax.
1 cent for every dollar spent in Wisconsin. That's the GOP plan for providing aid to municipalities in Wisconsin. And that funding would be adjusted with the sales tax going forward. More sales translating to more revenue, which means more support for local governments. This is very similar to what Governor Evers proposed in his budget earlier this year.
We considered shutting off every other streetlight in the city of Watertown to save $250,000. And while we are still going to face, difficult conversations and contemplations, I know that this is going to afford us an opportunity.
In addition to the sales tax funding, the Republican proposal would add more funding, $226 million for municipalities and counties. The plan's author says that would be at least a 10% increase for those local governments. Evers wanted more in his budget, $576 million. Now there's a catch to this. According to details of the plan obtained by WISCpolitics.com, local governments would have to give up some control in order to take that money. Public health officials, for example, would be barred under this plan from issuing pandemic-era orders to close businesses unless the local city or county board signs off.
The way that I would put it is we are making historic major reform in this legislation, which requires compromise.
Things are still early yet, though. The Republican Senate leader threw cold water on the announcement today, saying that details still need to be worked out. And Democrats largely didn't know how to react, saying the plan was just too sparse on details.
Hopefully beginning next week, we're going to have something out. We're still working a few little details out, but we're very, very close.
So Republicans have been holding news conferences about this around the state, and in just the last few minutes we heard news out of Milwaukee with Assembly Speaker Robin Vos. He said that tied to this aid for local governments, Republicans want to repeal the personal property tax, and he called it, quote, the most onerous taxes for small business that we've seen, that we're doing away, tying that to the local funds. So we'll have more on this coverage up online, channel3000.com. Reporting from the Capitol, Will Keneally, News 3 Now.
All right, Will, thank you. A new initiative from the Madison Police Department means you could have a lot more say in the department's policy. The strategy is called community policing. It's one of the main points outlined in a 5-year plan released today by the department. It'll create police advisory boards in each of the 6 districts with emphasis on Black, Latino, Asian, and LGBTQ+ communities. They'll hold monthly meetings to build relationships, share information, and promote safety among Madison's diverse groups.
Madison-centric policing requires us to take a holistic or all-inclusive approach to addressing crime and disorder and fear in our community. By collaborating with our community and our stakeholders, our goal will be to address these issues in not only the traditional reactive aspect, but also in proactive, restorative, and criminal diversion initiatives.
That Madison-based approach also means working with community partners to respond to mental health, homelessness, and substance abuse issues. The plan says collaborating with other agencies will reduce calls for police service while getting to the root of crime in the city. The feds say Dane County has the lowest unemployment rate in the state. However, businesses in Dane County continue to struggle to fill open jobs. Our Catherine Merck looked into the reasons why we're seeing these trends and what state leaders need to look into to continue to lower the numbers. Catherine.
Well, Eric, our state is above the national average in terms of our labor force participation. The department says positive data about unemployment show that people who have been back to work since the pandemic. However, small businesses throughout the state have continued to voice concerns of being able to fill jobs. The state says they're continuing to target different demographics to fill the remaining gaps.
We work also with veterans, with folks with disabilities, and folks that just need some upskilling to really move into in-demand careers. With a little bit of training and some assistance, will really be able to increase their wages and fill some of these in-demand vacancies throughout the state.
Statewide, the DWD says the unemployment rate either decreased or stayed the same in all 72 counties over the past month. This is only some of the updated data. The full breakdown of the statewide numbers are on our website right now at channel3000.com.
Catherine, thank you. The Dane County Sheriff's Office recognizing the heroic actions of its deputies and community members by holding its annual awards ceremony today. More than a dozen residents and law enforcement personnel were presented with awards, including the Life Saving Award, the Valor Award, the Gold Heart Award, and the Citizen Award.
Where our deputies went into the face of action to save the lives of individuals who were injured in car accidents, farming accidents, but also community members who did the same thing.
If you're interested in serving the county, the department is hiring deputies and support service staff year-round. Go to teamdane.com to apply. The flex lane on the Beltline has had an instant impact on commute times in the Madison area. More than 130,000 cars travel on the Beltline every day. And thanks to the flex lane, a commute from east to west Madison takes half as long as it used to. It's also reduced the number of accidents on the Beltline, but speeding remains a concern.
We do notice that speeds in the flex lane are higher than they are in the other 3 lanes. The flex lane is the no truck lane, so there aren't any trucks in that lane.
Now tonight at 6, Susan Simon breaks down how the flex lane is maintained and monitored and how they determine when to open the flex lane, a job more complex than you might think. Former President Trump's lawyer cross-examined writer E. Jean Carroll today in court about a 1990s encounter at a Manhattan department store that she says ended with Trump raping her. Now, Trump denies the allegations. His attorney shared information in a 2017 email between Carroll and a friend that he said is proof of her scheming against Trump. He also questioned Carroll on whether she thought including the allegations against Trump in a book she wrote would increase sales. Carroll acknowledged that she did think that, but said she was mistaken. The trial is expected to continue next week. And legendary talk show host and former mayor of Cincinnati, Jerry Springer, has passed away. Springer's talk show was known for outrageous arguments that would sometimes turn physical. At its peak, the Jerry Springer Show was a ratings powerhouse and a favorite American guilty pleasure over its 27-year run. At one point, topping Oprah Winfrey's show. Springer called it escapist entertainment, while others saw the show as a decline in American social values. In a statement, his family said he died peacefully at his home in suburban Chicago after a brief illness. Jerry Springer was 79 years old. Coming up, Gary has our complete First Warn forecast, and we'll hear from WNBA star Brittany Griner as she prepares to return to the sport following imprisonment in Russia. And a strong Thursday on Wall Street, the Dow surging more than 524 points. The Nasdaq adds 288. The S&P 500 up 79 at the closing bell. We'll be right back.
Furniture and Appliance Mart is hosting a massive appliance blowout. Dishwashers start at $11 a month. Refrigerators start at $12 a month. And washer and dryer pairs start at $18 a month. Plus 72 months special financing at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
Get 11% off everything at Menards. Protect vehicles, outdoor equipment, and more with Shelter Logic Storage Solutions. We carry a great selection of easy-to-assemble canopies, shelters, and garages that hold up against the elements. Store your tools, outdoor equipment, and more with Shelter Logic Storage Sheds from Menards. Right now, get a 10 by 12-foot round top shelter for only $279.99 after 11% rebate. Save on all your outdoor storage needs with help from Menards.
Save big money at Menards.
Hit the ground running in the most adventurous Honda vehicles yet. Like the Pilot and Passport Trail Sport, or the Ridgeline, made more rugged with better off-road performance, and more capable with different driving modes available to conquer snow, mud, and sand. Adventure on in a Honda for you. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
Spring into action and save on stressless seating at the Century House. Now get $400 off all classic power recliners, signature-based recliners and ottomans, and cross-base recliners and ottomans. And get $400 off most sofas and love seats. Imagine how much you can save building your dream sectional. Shop the Century House, 3420 University Avenue in Madison.
I just got the new Samsung Galaxy S23 Ultra from US Cellular. With the most powerful processor yet, it can game smoother than ever. With nightography, it can take selfies in low light. Click. And with a longer battery life and US Cellular's 5G network, it can stream my favorite shows around the clock.
Amazing. Can it go back in the bag?
Yeah, it can go back into the bag.
Okay. Did you just kiss the phone?
Get the Samsung Galaxy S23 free. No trade-in needed from US Cellular.
I kissed it?
Yes.
Ashley is hosting a massive inventory blowout sale. Get guaranteed lowest prices on furniture and mattresses and save even more on clearance items. Plus, low monthly payments with no money down and free delivery in 3 days or less. Only at Ashley.
As Dane County boasts the state's lowest unemployment rate, local businesses are sharing their staffing struggles with News 3 Now.
Then the Mississippi on the rise again. We're back in the area where the waters threaten to break into homes. That's tonight at 6.
Find out what factors drive the decision to open and close the Beltline's Flex Lane. Get a look inside Wisconsin's Nerve Center that monitors and controls the Flex Lane and keeps an eye on roadways throughout the state. Tonight at 6.
You're watching News 3 Now at 5.
WNBA star Brittany Griner spoke to the press today as she prepares to return to training camp with the Phoenix Mercury. Griner, who was detained for nearly 10 months in Russia, says she is grateful, hopeful, and ready to play basketball again. U.S. officials say she was wrongfully detained as they negotiated for her release. She says now she's using her platform to speak out for other detained Americans.
No one should be in those conditions. Have that mindset, no man left behind. No man, no woman, no one left behind.
The two-time Olympian says she will never play overseas again unless representing the U.S. and now has a new appreciation for the game she loves. Her first game with the Mercury is set for May 19th. Millions in the Deep South in places like Texas and Louisiana are facing severe weather threats today. And the Mississippi River, of course, that flooding threat remains. Laura Aguirre has more on these threatening weather conditions.
We went through 2 hurricanes last year, and this does not compare to either one of them, maybe even both put together.
Hail as large as softballs from the Florida Panhandle over to southern Texas. Many are assessing damage from Wednesday's wind-driven hail that battered property like cannonballs.
We lost half of our, the top to our lanai and our gutters on both sides, and I have some windows broken in the back and hail damage to my car.
One Florida middle school's courtyard buried in hail, looking more like a blanket of snow. This bull in Texas trying to escape the onslaught. His owner says he made it to safety.
This is insane.
The Storm Prediction Center is forecasting large hail, heavy rain, strong winds, and possible tornadoes for the same region of southern Texas through most of Florida into Thursday evening. In the Midwest, pumps along the rising Mississippi River are working around the clock. Melting snow runoff has pushed the river over its banks and into towns from Wisconsin to Minnesota for days.
Like most small towns, we've managed to do all of the sandbagging and so forth with volunteer help.
All of the gates along Dubuque, Iowa's massive flood wall are now closed. The river is expected to crest there Saturday, while many other towns may not see relief until next week.
We have weathered the storm. We'll wait for the water to recede and see what kind of damage we have.
I'm Laura Aguirre reporting.
Voluntary flood evacuations are underway for Campbell and La Crosse County. The fire chief there saying utilities have been disconnected to over 24 homes near the river. The town also partnering with the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers to bring in larger pumps there. Well, let's get a look at your first warn forecast. Here's Chief Meteorologist Gary Canalti. Gary.
Of course, any additional rainfall is also going to play into the flooding situation. As far as the Mississippi River levels are concerned, right now, most of the northern part of the Mississippi River from La Crosse northward starting to see have already reached their crest, and the water levels are starting to fall. So that's some good news there. But that water still has to work its way downstream, and farther south across parts of Iowa and southwestern Wisconsin, those levels are still continuing to rise, probably going to go up another 6 to 9 inches in most areas, well above flood stage. But the good news is that should start to drop probably after about Saturday. However, flood warnings remain in effect pretty much for the entire Mississippi River from the Twin Cities down through southwestern Wisconsin, western Illinois, and eastern Iowa, but also many rivers above the flood stage, and flood warnings are in effect for those areas. And additional rainfall unfortunately, is on the way, especially farther to the north. Right now, you can see some showers from the Twin Cities to north of Eau Claire, over toward Antigo and south of Rhinelander. So far, that precipitation is light, but they'll see more showers over the next couple of days. Now, we'll expect some rain here. Fortunately, our rain should be pretty light. Generally, about a ½ inch or so, maybe a little bit more to the north and east of Madison, a little bit less to the west, but that's through Tuesday. So this is spread out over about a 3-day period. However, the northern part of the Midwest could see heavier amounts of rain. Flood watches are in effect for parts of northwestern Wisconsin and northeastern Minnesota. And again, that water is going to work its way right back into the St. Croix River and down the Mississippi and could cause more flooding problems down the road, especially if the rain turns out to be heavier than forecast. 3 things you need to know around here. We'll look for one more mild day tomorrow, temperatures in the middle 60s, but showers start this weekend and continue into next week, and we'll also see it cold enough for perhaps a few flakes of snow to mix in Saturday night into early Sunday morning and Sunday night into early Monday morning. Right now, temperatures at least are back in the 60s here. Northern parts of the state a little bit cooler where there's clouds and showers, but you can see much of the Midwest pretty comfortable temperature-wise. It's actually a little colder farther to the south across parts of Missouri, where there's another batch of rain that will be lifting its way northward. Planning your night across Dane County, low of 40 in Fitchburg, 41 in Belleville, 41 in Mazomanie with partly cloudy skies overnight. Across the rest of southern Wisconsin, low of 40 in Watertown, 40 in Lone Rock. For tomorrow, look for skies to be variably cloudy. Temperature still in the mid-60s, and more importantly, it should be dry during the day tomorrow. But future track beginning early on Saturday morning brings one batch of showers through. As it works its way into the drier air, kind of dissipates a little bit and then kind of picks up again in intensity as approaches Lake Michigan. Notice a bit of a break midday Saturday, and then some more showers start coming in from the west later Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Again, rainfall through Tuesday afternoon, around a ½ inch or so, give or take a ¼ of an inch one way or the other. First warn 7 to 10 day forecast with the clouds and showers, temperatures only in the 40s for Sunday and Monday, and it'll be windy as well. But notice we start to see those temperatures back up closer to normal, mainly in the low to mid 60s for much of next week. Just a slight chance for a shower from late Thursday into Friday of next week. As we check out first warn traffic right now, here's a view of the Beltline from the DOT cameras at Stoughton Road. You can see traffic slowing down as it approaches the I-3990 interchange. The usual backups there as the flex lane kind of winds down. But right now we're seeing just a little bit of a delay on the eastbound Beltline, about a 20-minute trip between University Avenue and the interstate, 15 minutes going back in the westbound direction, 17 minutes inbound from Sun Prairie to downtown. Going outbound, it's 17 minutes as well, but Middleton to Sauk City is a 16-minute trip on US 12. And from Madison to Janesville on I-3990, that will take you 24 minutes. That's your News 3 Now First Warn traffic.
Gary, thanks. The Federal Reserve's interest rate hikes are impacting several parts of the economy and leading to a major slowdown. A new report shows gross domestic product rose at an annual rate of just 1.1% in the first quarter. That's a big drop from the previous 2 quarters. Experts say the Fed's plan is working as intended, but spending, of course, is a big economic driver. And now one measure of consumer confidence is at a 9-month low, and that means a recession could lie ahead.
Even if we don't enter into a technical recession, growth is slowing down, activity is petering out, and there are going to be job losses in a variety of different sectors.
Now, if there is a recession, many economists forecast it will be mild compared to past recessions. Pop star Ed Sheeran is in court accused of copying a Marvin Gaye classic. We'll have a closer look at this case next at 5.
News 3 Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point. And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Furniture and Appliance Mart is hosting a massive appliance blowout. Dishwashers start at $11 a month. Refrigerators start at $12 a month. And washer and dryer pairs start at $18 a month. Plus 72 months special financing at Furniture and Appliance Mart inside Ashley.
Join the Circle of Life at the Lion King. Experience the world's #1 musical. Don't miss your chance to see The Lion King, one of the most awe-inspiring productions ever brought to life on stage.
Coming to Overture Center May 11th through 28th. Tickets on sale now at overture.org.
Trust your feet to Morgan's shoes.
Birkenstock ushers in a new collection with clean lines, easier than ever closures, and the most necessary footbed in your closet. Slide into Morgan's shoes and shop our new Birkenstock arrivals. See what's fresh for spring and summer. Birkenstock platforms and wedges, cork-powered sneakers, or up your game with our iconic men's and women's sandals.
Comfort with style. Trust your feet to Morgan Shoes.
Morgan Shoes, Hilldale.
Community is helping each other, making sure your neighbor is taken care of. At Lake Ridge Bank, community is who we are. We take pride in being a community bank, strengthening relationships and investing in the places we come from. It's why we are who we are. Lake Ridge Bank. Go far, go together.
Could you keep it down? Oh, hey, sorry. I can't stop these kids from rocking, but I can help you replace all this. Rock on!
With free installation on Felco windows, siding, doors, and roofing, plus no money down, no payments, and no interest for 1 year. There's never been a better time to upgrade your home.
This offer ends Sunday. Hurry. Call now.
For quality windows, siding, and doors, call 866 for Felco.
Ashley is hosting a massive inventory blowout sale. Get guaranteed lowest prices on furniture and mattresses and save even more on clearance items. Plus, low monthly payments with no money down and free delivery in 3 days or less. Only at Ashley.
It's a brand new day.
Don't let junk get in the way.
All you have to do is point.
And you'll be back to your old self again.
Yeah!
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK.
Or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
A Manhattan jury has to decide a high-profile case against British pop star Ed Sheeran. How similar can two songs be before it's considered copyright infringement? Gloria Pasmino is in New York with a look at this controversy.
Is Ed Sheeran's 2014 hit Thinking Out Loud
Darling, I will be loving you.
a copy of the Marvin Gaye 1973 classic?
Let's get it on.
Those chord progressions are at the heart of a lawsuit playing out in a federal courtroom this week.
I'm here for justice, protecting my father's intellectual properties.
The heirs of Ed Townsend, Gaye's co-writer, are suing Sheeran for copyright infringement.
Both songs share a similar 2-bar chord loop, and the songs are a similar tempo and that dreaded word have a similar vibe.
But the songs are not exactly the same. Sheeran's legal team arguing both hits rely on sounds common in pop music. Forensic musicologist Joe Bennett agrees.
Popular music has to appeal to a large amount of people, and that means that songwriters tend to use a lot of the same building blocks.
He says countless songs rely on the same chord progression.
Chords 1, 3, 4, and 5, based on the notes of the major scale, are a pretty common thing in music.
And believes cases like this could ultimately be damaging for songwriters, as Sheeran has previously argued.
I think it'd be very concerning if any one artist or any one estate, any one publisher were to own the copyright on one of these basic, simple musical building blocks, because it would prevent anyone else from using it.
In New York, I'm Gloria Pasmino.
And we'll have a final check of your first warn forecast in just a moment.
It's time to march into deer season. Get your John Deere 1025R with a 120R loader for just $195 per month. Get a John Deere now and power up at Sloan's. Think Sloan's first.
There's nothing better than a great night's sleep on a new mattress from Steinhafels. Tempur-Pedics are designed to make aches and pains a thing of the past by relieving pressure points and supporting the body as no other mattress can. Right now, you can get a Queen Tempur-Pedic mattress with an adjustable base for just $58 per month when you use Steinhafels' special 72-month financing. Plus, get $300 in Steinhafels cash. Relax, it's Steinhafels.
It's time to celebrate and save during Blaine's Farm and Fleet of Baraboo's grand reopening event going on now. Join us for 3 days of giveaways, prize drawings, daily expert demos, and more. Plus, shop huge store-wide savings like large jugs of Air Laundry detergent, just $7.99. 50-pound bags of Blaine's brand black oil sunflower seed, $24.99 while supplies last. And assorted dog and cat toys are buy one, get one free. Don't miss Blaine's Farm and Fleet of Baraboo's grand reopening event going on now.
There are so many things we take for granted, and along with them, sometimes we take the people who depend on them for granted too. How can they survive with record increases in their basic cost of living, and through no fault of their own, they're being left behind? If you or someone you know needs a hand up, our energy and water providers are working together to keep you safely in your home. You may not ask for it, but we're here to help.
What's your lawn care plan for the summer? Having a Maple Leaf lawn care maintenance program means a better-looking lawn and more free time for you. Check our website for special discounts and leave the yard work to Maple Leaf, your year-round property care experts.
This is Sydney. She's on hour 3 of a meeting about office refrigerator etiquette. With my dream sectional, she could take that call outside and bask in the sun on comfy cushions. And it doesn't just feel like a dream, it fits like one too, thanks to a clever modular design. With nature-defying features like weather-resistant wicker, rust-proof frames, and UV-resistant fabric in gray and navy. Plus fun add-ons that give your outdoor space indoor comfort and quality. Take a break from boring meetings this spring break at Bob's.
It's time to march into deer season. Get your John Deere Gator utility vehicle with 0% for 36 months and no money down. Get a John Deere Gator now and
power up at Sloan's.
Think Sloan's first.
Pretty nice out there right now. 66 Madison, 68 degrees in Janesville, 70 in Boscobel. Here in Dane County, 67 in McFarland, 68 in Cross Plains, and 69 in Sauk City. Tomorrow should be just as mild.
All right, CBS Evening News coming your way next. We're back in 30 minutes with News 3 Now at 6.